The Next Shelter Network presents an Appalachian Trail interview series, 2024 edition. This is a platform for hikers to share their hearts, minds, and experiences. These interviews are hosted by yours truly, Trevor Hendry, otherwise known as Bear. Now to the interview. Later time, but we are with Mama Bear and Little Bear, who
Hi.
that's them, and they are going to be starting in mid-March, which is coming up. We're only a couple weeks out. Hard to believe.
Yes.
What's it like for you guys right now? How are you feeling?
It's really exciting for me. I feel like I just can't wait and I just want to go already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I wrote something the other day, and I likened it to which neither of you will quite understand this part, but some people that are watching this will. I kind of likened it to those few weeks right before you're having your baby. I mean, it's you've had all this time and anticipation and excitement and mixed emotions, and you just want to meet the baby and have the baby and have everything here right now, but you just have to wait and there's nothing you can do to make that time go by faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, just so excited, so ready to go.
It's interesting that you described it that way. At the end of my first hike, I described it in a way that presented as if it's like you start on trail as a baby, right? You're born
Mhm.
into the trail, and then this trail becomes sort of this microcosm of life. And then you finally get to the end, and it's kind of like, well, not where you die, but metaphorically, that's where it ends. So I
Yeah.
think it's interesting that you use that metaphor. I was watching a little bit of some of y'all's videos before, and am I correct, Little Bear? You used to be known
Yep.
as Baby Bear, but you seem to have graduated. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Well, tell them how did you go from baby bear to little bear?
Oh, so the first day on our Foothills trail, it was a very bad day.
It was
It
a
was
hard day.
Yeah, it was a very hard day. It was raining. It was just not the best day to hike in.
It was cold, day after Christmas, so we were
Yeah.
exhausted after a 10-hour drive to get there. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
tough. It was super tough. Toughest day we've ever had on trail so far.
Yes. And basically, Fresh Ground didn't want me to call it baby for after that day, so that's kind of how I got it and graduated to Little Bear.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep, he said that she can't, it was kind of disrespectful almost, I think he said, to
Yeah.
call her little bear or baby bear because she's not a baby for being able to do all the things she's accomplished so far. And I couldn't agree more. That was awesome.
That's a cool story, and I completely agree. I mean, you obviously have enough autonomy, right? Or I should say you have enough you're your own individual, you
Yeah.
can form your own thought process, your own decisions, and I'm sure you and this is a mother-daughter duo. I don't know if we stated that
Hmm.
up front, but
Yeah.
mom and daughter duo going out on trail. I'm very curious because obviously this is not conventional, right? This is not normal. You don't see a lot of parent child duos going on a trail.
Yeah.
What was, and I want to get your individual opinion, Little Bear, but what was it like for you two together to come to this decision, given because, and I don't know where you guys are in life right now, but given your circumstances in life, what was it like to come together and make this decision to hike the AT together?
It was awesome. I like getting
She
all
was a little excited.
but like it's a great process to decide something, like something so like special. Like we planned everything out. We got all the gear and we're ready to go.
Shakedown hike.
Shakedown hikes, a lot of those. Yeah. So it's an awesome process to decide something that big.
Yeah, and then originally this has been years in the making. So probably 4 or 5 years ago is when I really started watching all the, through hiker videos on YouTube, and that was just kind of like an annual thing I started doing. And I started talking about it about one day. I hope I get to do this one day. And I think the first time we were watching a video when you joined me, she said, "Well, me too." And so I started talking to my husband about it, and I said, "Well, what if all of us could do it?" And unfortunately, that's just not in the cards with my husband and his job. He won't be able to get time off, although he would if he
Yeah.
could. My son is working full time and is building his own business, so he couldn't go. And then my other two daughters, or your sisters, they were
Yeah.
invited too, but they love camping and they love hiking. They don't
Yeah.
love backpacking. So then it became, well, is it just going to be you and me?
Yeah.
And my husband was like, yeah, why not? And we thought, yeah, why not? Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's just kind of how it unfolded over the past or probably 3 to 4 years. And the last 2 years, we've really been honestly, truly planning from
Yeah.
buying the gear, testing the gear, going out on multiple shakedown hikes, and just got really serious with saving money and the logistical planning. It's been a long 2 years, but I can't
Mhm.
believe that it's almost here. It's
Yeah.
been a really, really fun process. Your journey of the through hike, I believe,
Mhm.
begins the first day that you commit to it and that you decide, not the first day that you step on the trail.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I lost you guys just for a second there. Can you repeat the last part that you just
The
said?
journey, yeah. So I
Yeah.
was thinking, because it's been such a long process for us, that it occurred to me that your first day, or your, how do I say this? Now that I have to re-say it, I have to think of what I said. The
It's all good.
first day of your journey starts long before you ever set foot on trail. It starts, in my opinion, the day that you commit to it and then you decide that this is what I'm going to do. With the planning and the feelings and the excitement and the logistical stuff, it starts way before you actually set your first foot on trail.
Yeah.
It does, and, I think that's really half the journey, and that's not to take away from the experience on the A2 or how difficult, it is, but it is extremely difficult to get out there. I'm sure
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
guys have either talked with people online or ran into a whole bunch of people in life where, you tell them about your plans and they look at you and say, "Oh, man, I wish I could do that." Because there's
Yes.
so
Yeah.
much that's wrapped up into that. There's so much sacrifice, there's so much
Yeah.
preparation, so much hard work, and
There
then
really
there's
is.
just random luck, right? Some people trip on their lawn and hurt themselves. There's all these
Mhm.
things that can happen before you get out there. And so just making out onto the beginning of the trail is like it's going to be a huge relief for you guys. And I'm excited for y'all in
I
that
feel that
respect.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've even been like, okay, be careful in the past few weeks as we're doing things. Let's not take any unnecessary risks. Let's be
Yeah.
very careful. But yeah, that what you just said sums it up for me too. Is the I will be relieved when we're finally just on trail, and all
Yeah.
the years of planning and the logistics, and at this point, the excitement and the sleepless nights a little bit. I'm just ready to be out there.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. It's
So
crazy
let's
how long it feels like it's taking.
yeah. Let's go back to the genesis of the idea of where this started. I know you mentioned this has been a long process.
Mhm.
Can you think back, can you remember back to where the Appalachian Trail started to get into the conversation between you guys, between you two? What was the, I guess, the inspiration? What was the exposure to the trail for you guys?
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
So for me, we started backpacking and hiking. We're a big outdoors family, ever since she was, a baby. And so
Yeah.
being outside is always something that we love to do. And it was probably, I think, 5 years ago or so, maybe longer, that I stumbled upon vlogging, and people vlogging their through hike attempts or their completed through hikes.
Mhm.
And I started watching it, and they're homeschooled. All four of my children have been homeschooled, and so they're home with me a lot, and so they're often exposed to the same things that I'm watching on TV and looking at or reading. And the conversation just started of, wow, wouldn't that be amazing, wouldn't that be cool? And my husband was a big part in that, and I said, oh, one day, maybe when we retire. And we're about now 6 years out from retiring, but back then it was about 10, 11, 12 years. And the more and more inspired I got watching the people, the more interest I started seeing from you, the more section hikes and just the day hikes and, getting out there in the mountains that we started to do. It started to me to feel like something, I don't want to say I desperately wanted to do, but it became more of a need. And I know that sounds crazy, and some people will hear this and be like, "What are you talking about? It's a hike. I know it sounds crazy. I hear myself, but it just became something that I just wanted so deeply, and not for anything I have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed life at home. There's nothing I'm running away from. I'm not trying to find myself. I'm found for the most part. There's none of that. It was just the call to the trail became so loud for me. And as I began having more conversations with my husband, we decided, okay, we're going to plan this and we're going to do this when we retire. And whatever child wants to join us at that time would have been 10, 12 years from then, is welcome to go with us.
Mhm.
And then the more I started watching it, the more that desire grew. And then I just said one day, gosh, I wish I could just do it right now. Right now, meaning before we retire and before 10 to 12 years. And he said, why don't you? And when he said that to me, it was literally like this light bulb, this huge light, bright light just shined. And I thought, you're right. Why don't I? We live our lives very much as in the moment. We're
Mhm.
not promised for tomorrow. We're the people that, go to the movies midweek, go do a picnic for no reason. We live our life. And that was an extension of that ideology of, you're right. Why not? And when he said, why not? I felt like we had the green light and we started talking about it. And then we just started doing the logistics of how much is it going to cost? What is it going to look like? I'm a mom of four children and I have a business. How is that going to work? We just really started talking about it realistically. And then we decided we can do this. We can do this within 2 years
Mhm.
and let's just go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great example.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it unfolded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Little Bear, what was that like for you? I'm assuming was it more of your mom bringing the AT into the conversation into the fold and talking to you about it, or what? How did it start for you, and how did you wrap your mind around that? Like, what was that like?
So the first time my mother told me about the AT, I started to actually look more into it and read about it and see if it's safe to do, and it perfectly is. Then started to watch a few of my like more videos that my mother watched, and we started to every morning just watch hiking videos and some of our other stores of course. And then I was kind of like, I think I want to do this. Like I would love to do like 2,000 plus miles with my mother, my best friend. And I've always dreamed about traveling the world and going to 14 states. That seems pretty awesome
It's
to
a good
do.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be like a crazy story to tell my own kids. Even my cat, I can tell her everything. So I just thought and I prayed about it, and I really want to do this. Like, I'm so excited. And I'm like really excited to do it.
I'm excited
Yeah.
too.
And I'm excited to get to Katahdin, finally.
Little Bear, how old are you?
I'm 11.
11, and way beyond your years, obviously, as everyone can
Yeah.
see. Your mom, so she has to consider like what your dad would want or your
Hmm.
other siblings. What are some things as a kid that you literally with the responsibilities that you have as a kid in your life? What was it like for you to consider what this trail how it would affect your current life? What things are normally like for you? What did you have to consider through that whole process?
Well, I had to consider leaving my family for 6 months, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And leaving family is like a big thing for me, and it's really hard to do.
Mhm.
But I want to do it, and it seems fun. It seems
Yeah.
a great thing to do. Yeah.
I know.
Right back, me and my cat.
Nice. Okay.
She says, I'm gonna go get my cat. Yeah, I think that's been probably our family is very close, and I'm
Mhm.
so thankful for that. So I think that's been the hardest. We know climbing the mountains are gonna be hard. We know just living in the woods, and all the things that go in with the through hike, we know are gonna be super, super hard, but we're used to doing hard things. But leaving our family is going to be our absolute biggest challenge. And for her, leaving her animals too, that's just going to be something that
There you go.
it's going to be different or difficult and different.
Maybe you
By
could
the way,
try
this is
and bring the
Ellie.
oh, what's his name?
This is Ellie.
Oh, her name,
Ellie.
Ellie. Maybe
Yeah.
you could be the first to through hike with a cat on a leash. Maybe that it's a good idea.
I would
Maybe
love
for the
to,
next one.
yeah.
Okay.
She's asked me. She's talked about it. I'm like, I think it's gonna be hard enough to get us there just because of the logistics. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I wouldn't be opposed to it. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
One
So it
day when we
sounds
get
like
our,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said maybe one day when we get our Maine Coon,
Maybe.
our
Mm.
big old cat.
So it sounds like the groundwork for this hike is it's been laid out and your life is set up in a way that makes it a lot easier, right?
Mhm.
Kids are you guys are homeschooled and
Mhm.
um and so that's a whole nother factor, right? Like
Yeah.
lot of other if you're taking a child, if you're a child, you have to get taken out of school, and then there seems a whole
Mhm.
like domino effect from that.
Yeah.
Uh, where are you guys coming from before trail? Where are you guys living right now?
We're in Central Florida.
Mhm.
Central Florida. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Fellow
I'm a,
Flatlanders.
yeah, I'm originally from South Florida, so
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So you
yeah,
get it. The whole Flatlanders Unite thing. It's real.
I get it. Yep. No, it's a beautiful area. There's still beautiful parts of Florida, old Florida, I call it.
Mm.
So you guys said you did the Foothills Trail. Now,
Yeah.
me and my wife are actually set to do the Foothills end of March, so I'm looking
Oh.
forward to going out there. I hear it's beautiful. I hear it's good kind of microcosm of the AT, and
Hmm.
Mhm.
so that's a heck of a shakedown hike for you guys, and bravo for doing that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Because what are the P's again? Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. I just went blank, but I know what you're talking about.
So I want to know what that dynamic was for you as individuals first, but then you as a duo together. I guess let's start with you, Mama Bear. What was your experience out there like? Is this a I'm assuming you've done hiking before, right?
Yeah, so we started day hiking back, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, just going, camping with the kids and then just doing short day hikes. Our very first, I guess, more difficult challenge was the whole entire family. So my husband, all four kids, and I, and our police dog, we went from the Immaqualola State Park and to Neel's Gap, so about 40 miles or so. We did that June of 2021 or 22. I can't remember now, but a couple years ago, 2021, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that first, and that was hard. I mean, my pack was almost 40 pounds. It was
Yeah.
insane. I didn't know what I didn't know, but boy, I've learned a whole lot since then.
Yeah.
So we've worked a lot about, we realize ounces make pounds and how important it is to, go as light as possible without sacrificing safety, of course.
Mhm.
But from then, we did that several years ago, and then we just started doing a little bit longer day hikes, and then we did a through hike of the Foothills Trail last April, so about a year ago or so. It was you, me, and my middle daughter. Wait, is she the middle daughter? Yeah, my
Yeah.
middle daughter. She got the trail named Moon Pie. The three of us went out there and did that, and that was really what solidified for her that I don't love backpacking long distances. I love camping. I love hiking. So that was because originally she was going to come with us, and that was the thing that made her decide, yeah, long distance backpacking isn't for me. So we did that trail. It was hard, lots of steps, a lot more than I like actual steps that I didn't plan on. Elevation is pretty decent. The temperature was great, and we had gotten our packs down pretty light. I think my base weight then was maybe 20 pounds, 21 pounds, somewhere around there.
I don't know what my base weight is.
Yeah, it's still heavier than it is going to be now, but nonetheless, we're moving in the right direction. But we completed it. It was awesome. We had
Mhm.
hard days. We had days where I was like, what the heck are we doing? This is crazy. But then every time you got, like that type 2 fun, every time you got done, you're like, wow, this is the most amazing thing in the whole entire world. This is awesome. And by the time we finished, I it confirmed 100% for me that I wanted to through hike one without a doubt because I loved being out there. The hardest thing, besides some knee issues that I suffered being out there, and just the fact that it was difficult, paled into comparison into missing family. And we took 7 days to do it. So it was 7 days with spotty connection with them. There's not a lot of cell service on the Foothills Trail. So that was tough. And it confirmed that I wanted to do it, the AT, but missing family was going to be my absolute biggest challenge.
I think
Yeah.
that was always my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I think I knew it was going to be, but it was confirmed. I mean, there was definitely tears. I think there was a video where I just randomly start crying, which that's not normally like me necessarily until it comes to my family. And
Yeah.
when it comes to my family, that's just sort of my kryptonite, my soft spot. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What was that like for you, little bear? Getting on the trails for the first few times, acclimating to trail life and the cold mornings and
Mm.
the wet clothes. Like, what was that like for you?
Well, that part of course was really hard, but I feel like the views like made up for it. Like the
Mm.
views,
Mm-hmm.
the getting to a new place every day, the looking at the sky while eating some instant dinner.
Yeah. So it was worth it to you then.
Yeah, it was completely worth it for me. And getting Katarin will definitely be worth every step.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I think so.
So, so would you say that it's the rewards, like in terms of views, like what keeps you going? What keeps you hiking while you're out there? What is it that motivates you to get to camp or get to the finish line every time you go hiking?
Hmm. I don't really know. I just have like this fire in me that wants to keep going. So like I'm the wood and the fire's going and I just keep on burning. If you know if that makes sense.
That's a great analogy. I've never heard her say that before. Yeah, that
Yeah.
describes you well. You just keep on going. And her attitude on trail is so inspiring. I mean, we have learned and practiced the art of equanimity, having neutral feelings and, not making things negative or positive kind of thing. But she is such a great example of that and really just wakes up every day and with a smile on her face. And even when, it's a tougher day, she just sort of pushes through. Very motivating, very inspiring. So, yeah, you've got a fire in you. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm interested because you guys have had a you've had a lot of experience doing things together, going
Hmm.
on
Mhm.
adventures together, and with that comes good times and sometimes bad times, especially when you're hiking because sometimes it does get bad. What was it like for
Yeah.
you to work together on a through hike of the Foothills Trail? What was that experience like?
Okay, so when I knew she was having a bad day, I would help out with like getting the tent up, setting the tent up, filtering water, and just letting her rest, letting her think, letting her listen to her podcast. And I would kind of just leave her alone, and every once in a while telling her what she has told me many times. So that's kind of what I would do for her in any case she's not in a good mood.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I learned this last time. Someone asked us this question, and you answered, how do you guys work together when, someone's having a bad day or they need support? And um, she says I wouldn't leave her alone. And so I think, in, asking, how are you doing? Are you okay? What can I get you? Do you need this? Do you need that? I just was probably being overly accommodating. So I have learned that just to kind of take cues and hold space and to be quiet, when she needs to be left alone, just, leave her alone. She's okay. And so that's what I learned, from our conversation a couple weeks ago. And she kind of just knew that for me. This is part of who she is. I think even within our family system, you can ask anyone within the family. It's like she has this supernatural power of just sort of knowing what you need and when. And nobody else in the room or nobody else on trail probably knew that I was having a hard day, because I'm pretty good at just sort of masking that and, head down and walk, or, just pretending, I guess.
Yeah.
And she would know. And she would just come over and grab the water filter and just filter water for me, or she would just do things even without really acknowledging much of anything. And so I think that we're finding what works for each other. And hopefully honoring, each other when we're having those more difficult days, and not making the day more difficult like I was
Yeah.
for you, asking a million questions and how I can help you and what I can do for you. Now I know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. When I was younger, I always thought of myself as being an old soul, or at least being able to relate with adults better than my
Mm-hmm.
peers. Now, the thing is you guys are out there, and it's still. I mean, it's mother and daughter, so there's that dynamic between you two, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There's the parental for you, and as for little bear, it's okay. I have to, I have to love, but also, respect my mother because she's my
Yeah.
mother, duh.
Mm-hmm.
um so how do you balance? I'm curious, and I'm trying to articulate this in the best way so you can really understand the question I'm trying to ask. How do you I guess this is more specific for mama bear here. Um, how do you balance affording her the autonomy that obviously she deserves because
Mm-hmm.
she's smart and she can obviously make decisions for herself?
Mm-hmm.
Um, But at the same time, when we're younger, right, we don't have as much life experience. So to be able to find a balance between giving her that autonomy, but also still keeping that parental role intact on a trail that most people go out on for their own individual freedom, or to, like you said, to find themselves or to spread their wings. How do you find that? How do you think you're going to find that balance? And is that a balance that you guys already have in day to day life?
I think so. I think that's what I was thinking as you were asking the question. I think that we do have that balance in everyday life. We spend our whole family, especially with all the kids being homeschooled, we spend a lot of time together, and it's quality time. So we really have gotten to know each other very, very well.
Hmm.
And I think I'm not sure how, but I feel like my husband and I have both done a really good job balancing best friends with I'm still your mama, I'm still your daddy, right? Like the kids know, the kids understand that we have raised them to be free thinking, critical thinkers, autonomous young adults. And so we're always encouraging them to try things on their own, before they ask for help, to make their own decisions. That's just a part of our family structure and just sort of
Yeah.
personality, I think. And so it's natural for the kids to just sort of do their own thing and come get us when they need help. And I think with us, shakedown hikes have helped a lot to be able to balance sort of what I know she's capable of. And I've actually had a lot of people say, "Wow, you're such an amazing mom to be taking your daughter out on this through hike, out on this amazing adventure." A through hike in and of itself is difficult, but then having a child to care for should just make that even more difficult. And I get where they're coming from, and there's probably a small bit of truth in that in terms of maybe upping the difficulty just a tad bit. But when I say that she hiking with her is really like hiking with another best friend, she's not an 11-year-old kid where I'm constantly going, "Oh, don't get too close, slow down, be quiet, speed up, eat all your food." I don't have to do any of that when we're on trail. In the Matrix, in real life, right, she's super autonomous to begin with, but that transforms tenfold when we get out on trail. I mean, we talk about safety, we talk about, we do scenario training within our family, whether it's at home or on trail. So we have a lot of these things already talked out and worked out, that it really just flows so naturally for us. I have absolutely, in the hundreds of miles that we've done together so far, have had zero added stress because of behavior or having to mother or do any of those things, because she really just, she's like hiking with my best friend. And I mean, it might change over 6 months. We'll see how that goes, but I expect it just to be an extension of the experiences that we already have. And we have a very, I think, special mutual respect for each other. And she's an easy kid. She's an easy kid to love and an easy kid to raise, and an easy person to be around. So yeah, it's I don't know. It sort of just feels like it's been a natural progression of our relationship that just beautifully unfolds while we're on trail.
Good work, guys. That's awesome.
She's pretty
If
cool.
I agree. I agree. If there are any parents listening who are a little on the edge, maybe in the same boat, maybe in terms of having a healthy relationship with their child or and/or
Mhm.
children, but maybe it's hard for them to kind of break through some of the conventional wisdom out there that says, well, when you got a kid, you just held down, just just give up. You're not doing anything, or you're not going to be able to
Yeah.
go out and do these big adventures. What would you say to those people if they're watching now?
Well, I mean, I think that's a case by case scenario, right? I mean, there are absolutely going to be some families or some parents who have children that would not be appropriate to take on a through hike, and that's not saying that they're any better or not, than a child that would be able to go on a through hike or to be able to go on these big adventures. Some children just aren't, and that's okay because they have their own unique, special, beautiful characteristics about them. So I think it's a case by case basis, and being honest with yourself to say, you know, number one, always as a parent, what is in my child's best interest? And sometimes that question also reflects back on, am I myself as a parent honoring myself and modeling the behavior and the lifestyle that I'm trying to teach my child? So rather than saying, let's go dream about these big adventures and have that one day mentality, am I actually taking them and doing them? And that's been something that's been really important to my husband and I to practice what we preach. And we're always talking about, live each day mindfully and intentionally, and enjoy every single moment of your life and get out there and do the things that your heart desires. So I think it starts with asking yourself, are you honoring and valuing yourself, and are you representing yourself excuse me, in the way that you have taught your children? And then going a step further and saying, well, if these are the things that I desire to do, would this be, is my child appropriate for this activity, whatever it is? And do they want to do it? Is it the right time? And kind of make your decisions based on that, because it's not going to be a one size fits all. And as you see within our family, I have four kids. One wants to go, that would be my son, but can't because of his, progress in adulthood and life. And then I have the other two girls who they don't want to go on long backpacking trips, much less a through hike. So it wouldn't be appropriate to force them to go, in my opinion, to make them go. So you just happen to be the one that is willing, able, ready, excited, and has the same heart for it as I do. So yeah, honestly, just being honest with yourself. Are you being true to yourself? And then looking at each child individually and looking at what's in their best interest and what's in their best need. But practice what you preach, parents. I mean, that's modeling is not one way to raise a child. To me, it's the only way.
Yeah, that's great. Little Bear, uh,
Mhm.
if there's any other kids watching who are wanting to go out hiking, you've obviously dialed in your gear. You know what you need. You obviously know what to expect, right? I mean, the
Mhm.
Foothills Trail is great prep for the AT. What what's your I don't I'm assuming you would know this, but what's your base weight looking like right now?
Uh, so my entire weight, not with the 2 liters of water, or I
Mhm.
think with the 2 liters
With
of water,
one.
with 1 liter of water, it's around 15 pounds in
Mhm.
total.
So that's with everything. It's 4 days of food and one
Yeah.
liter of water.
So that's
Okay.
with 4 days of food. So that's my entire pack weight. So yeah,
I think so that would probably make your base weight
8.
eight,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
8ish, 8ish
Okay.
pounds.
Yeah.
And
So
so what are some of the things that you're carrying? You're obviously carrying food for yourself. Any
Hmm.
other things?
Um.
what's in your pack?
Well, I'm carrying my pad, sleeping bag, my Hilltops food bag, which I actually love because it's customizable.
Nice.
I'm carrying my, what did I say?
Your clothes,
My clothes,
your water filter,
water filter, pad, my own pad,
camp shoes,
camp shoes. Forgot about those.
your own ditty bag for your like bathroom kit.
Yeah, bathroom, med kit.
Your own little med kit.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so basically you're carrying everything you need for yourself. So mom's
Yeah.
not really helping with that, right?
Nope. Not really, not at all. But I mean, I'm carrying the stove, which would be, shared between the two of us, the tent, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, she's carrying everything that's hers.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hmm.
Nice. So so just so people can follow up and because I will forget at the end of this video.
Hmm.
You can see some of the things I've been talking about or alluding to with them hiking the Foothills Trail and some of their other adventures because they have a YouTube channel. Is that right?
Yep, we do. It's the Wildflowers Adventures.
Wildflowers Adventures. Any other places they can follow you guys? Mainly just YouTube?
Mainly this YouTube. We do have Instagram and Facebook. I don't know how much I'll be able to upload on everything, but we're going to try to do daily videos on YouTube.
Okay. Awesome. Um, so I'm doing this crazy little thing, a little experiment where and like I said, I am 25 minutes from Front Royal, which is basically you get around the 1,000-mile marker here near Harper's Ferry,
Mhm.
and you're near the halfway point. Obviously, you got another few miles to go after that.
Yeah.
But the goal would to be, since I'm so close, when you guys get up this way, which I know you guys will, you'll be up here, that we could meet and we could do an in-person interview. I
Okay.
think that would be really cool.
That would
And
be
so
fun.
and
Yeah.
so and so what I'm going to do is when we meet, which I'm happy you guys are on board with, I'm going to take a clip from this talk that we're having right now, and I'm going to show you guys this clip. And in this clip, which we're talking about it right now, I'd like
Hmm.
you guys to think about what you would want to say as individuals, or as you two together, what you'd want to say to your future self, who's mama bear, little bear, they're halfway through this entire journey. I want you to think about what you would say to your future self at that point in your hike. And what
Okay.
would you say?
Do you want to go first? Or...
You can go first. I'm still thinking.
Ah, dear future self.
You can think all
Um,
you want. Like I said, I can
yeah.
edit it.
We
So
actually wrote letters. It was her idea,
Hmm.
a dear future self letter that we're gonna
nice,
open at the end
Yeah,
when
after
we
Katahdin.
yeah, when we summit Katahdin.
awesome,
So
great
I kind of
idea.
have some ideas in mind, but I think it'd be a little bit different because we're gonna be at the halfway point. So
Hmm.
dear future self, you've made it to the halfway point. I know you're
Congratulations.
yeah, I know you're not surprised because you have a goal of through hiking this thing and you're halfway there. I'm sure that there have been many, many challenges. I'm sure there have been many, many times that you thought this was the best times of your life. I hope that, as we say, you have continued to put smiles over miles. I hope that you've continued to stop and smell all the flowers and look at all the waterfalls and to really embrace this special time that we have to be on trail. So if you've gotten away from that for any reason, and we know that sometimes that can happen, get back to that, smiles over miles, be in the moment, be present, be intentional, embrace every second of this journey because it's already halfway over.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Hi. How is it? Are you having fun? Did you make any friends your age? Probably. Is
Maybe.
there like
I don't know. Yeah, you keep asking yourself.
um if so, do you think they'll be forever best friends? I think that's a good question.
Hmm.
Um are you happy with all of your gear choices? And yeah, I don't really know what to say because like I haven't really
What
thought
it's going
about
to be
that.
like to get to
Yeah,
halfway.
I haven't really thought about that. I've only thought about getting to Georgia and then getting to Katahdin. I haven't really thought about the midway part.
That sums up exactly her mindset. I haven't thought about halfway point. I've thought about Georgia and I've thought about Katahdin.
That's the mindset you got to get there. I mean, you
Love it.
break it down into to towns, sometimes even shelters, and sometimes water sources. And if you keep the blinders on,
Hmm.
eventually you'll get all the way up to the end, and you say, "Oh my gosh, how'd I get here?"
Yeah, one foot in front of the other. I mean, at
Yeah,
the end of the day, it's just walking, right? You're just
Yeah.
walking in the woods. That's it.
exactly. Well, thank you both for your time. This has been wonderful. I'm super excited for you both.
Thank
This
you.
is a very unique conversation. And I know you obviously already make a great team, and I'm excited to follow along and see how this adventure goes for you guys. And yeah, no, I've really enjoyed this conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're so honored that you are even interested at all, and talking to you has been great, and it's added to the excitement because it's like, oh my gosh, this is real again for the 400th time this week. So we look forward to meeting you, and we're so excited that this is a cool project. We're honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. Well, I hope this could be of some resource for you guys. And if I can be any help or resource, let me know. But honestly, y'all got it from here. You're good. So,
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
all right, we'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.